Hey, it's Sam here from kitchengadgetsclub.com and also the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. So yesterday in our 30 days dedicated to the Ninja Foodi, we showed you how to make a delicious sausage casserole where we put the mash up top and the sausages cooked below. So now we thought we'd give you another example of that and show you how easy it is to cook a Ninja Foodi cottage pie. Cottage pie to people in the US is probably known as the shepherd's pie, but this is using minced beef, so of course it would be a cottage pie. But if you wanted to do shepherd's pie instead, simply swap the beef for some lamb. So for ingredients, it's really simple. So we've got some carrots, we've got some onion, and we've got some minced beef, or ground beef if you're in the US. What I also find interesting is what we all call this, because this is what you would call a 5% mince. But in the US, I believe they call it something like 95% mince or something like that, so it's just doing it the other way around. Yet when we lived in Portugal, they never had a different fat level of mince. It was just always quite fatty really, probably 10% all the time. But if you can use 5%, it does make a difference when you're cooking in your Ninja Foodi, but of course not essential if you can't. And then for other ingredients, we're actually going with a really rich sauce. So it's kind of like when you have a casserole, because I like it when it's nice and thick like that. So we're using passata, tomato puree, red wine. I've got a little bit of red wine left over in the cupboard that I haven't had a chance to use up. And then of course we've got some vegetable stock. Now, this is very important because this is a pressure cooker function recipe. Make sure that you've got a good balance and your passata's watered down, because otherwise it won't go to pressure, it'll be too thick with the liquid. So that's why we're adding this and the wine and not just putting it in the passata. If I was slow cooking, I could just add the passata and it would do a wonderful job. But just remember that is one of the key things to learn when you're pressure cooking, because we've all had it happen to us where the food hasn't quite gone to pressure. So just bear that in mind. And then I've got an amazing husband. Chef Dom behind the scenes has peeled all the potatoes so that I don't need to bore you with peeling some potatoes. And this is going to be for the mash. We're using Mary's Piper potatoes here because they make lovely creamy mash. And we're also making what we call our meaty mash. Our meaty mash makes it look like when it's white potatoes, like it's sweet potatoes. And basically you're sitting the potatoes on top of the mince, and the mince is bubbling up as it goes to pressure and creates a beautifully flavoursome mash. It's my favourite mash at the moment, and you can do it with lots of other recipes as well. You could do it on top with beef stew, like we did yesterday with the sausage casserole, shepherd's pie, Cumberland pie, bangers and mash, whichever one you wanted to. There's just so much choice there for doing that with your recipe. Some that I made earlier. It is just so delicious and I couldn't wait to eat it, so I can't wait to show you this one. So that is some I made earlier. So as you can see, the colour of the potato is much darker than what you'd expect, but it's just so rich and creamy. You can tell from there that it's really thick. And best of all, I haven't actually used a thickener. It's just how wonderful passata and the mince and everything cooks together. Kind of a bit when you do, like when you do spag bol in your Ninja Foodi. So, shall we give it a go? See what it's like. Oh, this is really good. It really is. Look at that mash. So I just had another round just to make sure I had the pressure ratio right. So this is another round of our testing. So now let's cook it again together. A bit of the prep. So I've got my onion and my carrots. So you can have the onion however you want. You can cube it or you can thinly slice it, whatever your favourite method is. And then you can just decide however you want your onion. You can go a bit thicker, depending on how much texture of the onion you actually like. And then that's your onion prep. So 3 to 4 carrots is a good amount. I have onion eyes. I haven't had onion eyes for ages on video. Oh, but look at me, I'm streaming. So good job I've got these carrots to do in between, isn't it? And that's to the carrots. And I'm just going to get my carrot peelings to one side. And then you can do your carrots however you want them. So you can also do them into what they call half moons, or you can go smaller into quarters if you prefer, or you can do some bigger bits and some smaller bits. It's totally up to you how you want your carrots. It's your cottage pie after all. And then when you're happy with the size of them, then we can get the cooking pot on and get started. So we're going to start by getting the sauté on, and then we can add the onions and a little bit of salted butter, and we can start the sauté process. Butter, if you're using butter for sautéing, make sure it's fridge. I say fridge because what I'm getting at there is that it's hard as nails like it is in the fridge, because then it takes longer to melt and you won't have to worry about burning it in the time it takes for the onion to actually cook. So let's grab our onion and pop it in. And then I've also chopped a few little bits of butter as well. And then you want to press sauté, get it started, and then you're going to wait until you hear the sizzle. And then in the meantime, you can grab yourself a wooden spoon, do any extra prep that you need to do, because it can take a while for the cooking pot to warm up. Hear the sizzle. So not much to see really, because you get quite a lot of steam coming off. And then continue to mix them until they're of a nice lovely colour. So the onion has finished sautéing. I'm just going to show you it. I'm just going to wait for the steam to go a little bit. Right, so check out these onions. So just give them a quick stir. And then next on the list is the mince. And then give it a good mix and break it up a bit. Behind the scenes, you know, we're doing a video here, a lot of steam from the onions, so we actually turned our sauté off, but the pot's still warm. You don't need to turn your sauté off in between, because you know you'd just be continuously cooking it, wouldn't you? So now you can get the mince. And what I suggest is that you get it to 3/4 done. It doesn't need to be properly cooked because we're pressure cooking, because you're finishing it off with the pressure cooker, so it doesn't have to be fully cooked anyway. So I'm going to give it a stir, and then we can get in some extra ingredients added in once we've browned the mince a bit. So if you have a look at the mince, you can now see it's well on its way to being cooked, and we can add in a lot of the other ingredients. So what we're going to start with, how about some wine? So this is just what I've got left over in a bottle, so I'm just going to see how much it actually measures out at. Right, it's almost at a cup, so I'm going to add that in next. Add in your vegetable stock. We're just going to give it a quick stir now. And we can take it off sauté as well. So after the vegetable stock and after the red wine, we've got the passata. So the first passata in. So pop in your second one. And then give it another stir. And if you see now, it's really watered down, which you'd be amazed by how thick this goes once it's actually cooked. So I'm adding in some tomato puree, the carrots that we prepped earlier, and then give it a good stir. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, you haven't seasoned it. That's because pressure cooking does strip quite a lot of the seasoning. So you actually use less seasoning if you just season at the end instead, and it'll help you having to avoid overly seasoning your food when you pressure cook it. So next we need to get that steamer basket in and the mashed potatoes in. So I'm just going to grab it and I can show you how it works. So, if you didn't watch our video yesterday for sausage casserole, then this is our steamer basket that we always say opens like a flower, because look, like that. I know, I should have grown up by now about these, but I just love using them. I've had these since about 2017, I think, and I still get so excited using them when I'm pressure cooking or when I'm using the multi-cooker. They're just brilliant. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this over the mince, and then what will happen is the mince will rise up into the potatoes and create what we call meaty potatoes. You saw the lovely colour on them at the beginning, and it gives them a look similar to sweet potatoes, but they're so flavoursome from all the juices of the mince filling of your cottage pie. So pop it in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to feed the potatoes into the top of it. And if you look on the top camera there, you can see that the juices are rising up into the top of it already, which is great because you get that lovely flavour. But I do recommend waiting until it's cooled down after pressure cooking, so you're not burning yourself as you're pulling this back out. So these are the potatoes that Dom had prepped for me earlier. So you can go bigger than you normally would for mash because they're just so soft and tender. You barely mash them when you do them in the pressure cooker. So you can do as many that will fit in the top depending on how much mash you want. When we did it, we found we didn't make as much mash as we'd have liked. We don't have any more potatoes in than what we've got here, so if you want to adjust it with more potatoes, then go for it. And like I said, Maris Piper, brilliant for mashed potatoes. And then you could just keep loading them up on top. And then just carry on chopping your potatoes. And then you'll notice you're getting quite a stack going in here. And of course, if you have an instant pot instead, then you can follow this recipe using the pressure cooker and saute on that one as well. Yep, all of them in. And then we're going to finish the top off with a little bit of butter so it can melt into the potatoes as they cook. And then the only bit of seasoning we're doing before pressure cooking is some salt on those potatoes. And then that just leaves putting the lid down, getting it on pressure cook, and then waiting until it's finished pressure cooking, and then we can mash the potatoes and then we can stir it, and I can just show you how yummy and delicious it is. But bearing in mind, because you've added a lot of stock, do expect it to take a bit to go to pressure. So pop your lid down. So let's get cooking our cottage pie. So you want to slide it all the way over to the pressure section, and you're looking for a quick pressure release. You want to make sure you're on high pressure, not low, and then you want to take the cooking time down to 8 minutes and then press start. And then you'll see the pressure button, and then you can come back when it's released its pressure.
When you first got a multi-cooker, it's so hard understanding the times and temps and getting the food spot on and cooked perfectly. That's why we've made for you the multi-cooker cooking guide. It features all the main functions of the multi-cooker, from dehydrate to grill to steam roast to steam air fry, pressure cooking, and of course simple everyday air frying. It's perfect for lots of different types of multi-cookers, from Instant Pot users to Ninja Foodi users, Ninja Speedy, air fryer. Even if you've got a flex straw, it's just perfect for so many of them. You'll find the link below in the description, and you can pre-order it now. And now let's get back to the video.
And the pressure has released. So shall we check on it? So slide it across so that you can open up the lid, and we have a full cooking pot and the potatoes have kind of sunken down, and that's what we want to happen. So we're just going to allow it to cool down a little bit and for the steam to go, and then we can give you a closer look. So now we've allowed the steam to die down a bit, and now I can show you what it looks like. So as you can see, the potatoes are now absorbed inside it, but it's just really easy to get it out, and Dom's going to show you a trick of how he does exactly this with a potato masher. It's just genius. I love this. And then he pulls it out and then straight into the bowl to make the mashed potato. And then that's your potatoes for your mash to one side. And then you just want to give it all a stir in here. And it's lovely and creamy and really, really thick. So now you've got your mashed potatoes to one side and they're ready for mashing. And of course we've given the pot a good stir, which is what you want. Or what you can do is you can stir the pot as you're adding in your frozen peas. And as many frozen peas as you want, really. I know we all have different preference. My daughter just bought her bowl back in of this with just a bowl of peas, so I don't think she's feeling the peas today. So a good portion of peas. A good trick, if you're feeding more people, you can add in extra peas and it can help bulk it out a bit more. And then once you've done that, add in your seasonings, and then the bottom of your cottage pie is then done. So I've got a bit of good old salt and pepper. At the same time, you might as well add a load of salt to your mashed potatoes as well. And then pepper into your cooking pot and pepper into your mash. And then I've got some dried thyme. And I've got some dried parsley. Both going in the cooking pot with the filling. And then I've also got some mixed herbs, which I'm just going to use this on the potatoes. And then you're all seasoned out. So keep stirring your cooking pot. So just think, I've not used any gravy granules or anything like that to thicken it up. This is just naturally how amazing it goes by using some passata and some wine and the other ingredients that we've used. And if you do feel like the need to rescue it, if it doesn't feel like it's thick enough, what you can do is you can just stir in a little bit of the mashed potatoes, because it's a wonderful natural thickener. But oh, look at that, doesn't that look fantastic? So now that we've done the filling, all that we've got left is the mashed potato. And here's the thing, you can do whatever you feel like doing, it's personal choice. What you can do is you can put the mash back over the mince and then cook it for 5 to 10 minutes on bake at 180 Celsius, 360 Fahrenheit, and add some cheese if you want a crusty topping, or you can do what I normally do, which is just grab a plate and just portion it up. But it's totally about personal choice, isn't it? So I'm just going to get the cooking pot out of the way and then we can show you the mashed potatoes. So now you can add some butter to your potatoes, and then that's all it really needs, because you've already added in those seasonings as you've been preparing your filling. So as much butter or as little as you like, or none at all, it just depends on personal choice. But I'm just going to add a little bit because you've already got the lovely flavours from the meat already, and it doesn't need any milk because you've got all those meat juices in there. This butter's been out a while now, so it's a bit softer, but you could use it from the fridge because it's so hot it'll just melt into it anyway. And you can get out your masher, but look at that, it's just, oh, the most amazing and quickest to make mash ever. Oh, but look at that, doesn't that look lovely? Oh yes, look at that. Oh, now you're talking. Oh, look at that on the fork, doesn't it look amazing? Oh, that is so, so good. So now I just need to portion it all up and I can just show you what it's like when you've got the two ingredients together. So then, grab yourself your mince and then it's ready for its mash. And we are ready. I mean, doesn't that look fabulous? I'm loving the colours on that. And just look, it's like a lovely, rich, savoury mince with the mashed potatoes, with the flavouring, and doesn't it look like sweet potatoes? And wasn't that simple? A simple way to put together some mince and your mash to make your cottage pie. And of course, if you don't want mash and you just love savoury mince, then just skip the potatoes part of the recipe and you've still got a delicious big pot of savoury mince for you to have for your dinner or for your meal prep as well, because it's brilliant for that. And we'll be back again tomorrow with another of our 30 days dedicated to the Ninja Foodi 15IN1. Thanks so much for watching our YouTube video. It feels so amazing that you've stuck around to the end. And of course, that must mean that you like our videos. So why not also follow us on social media? You can find us at the Kitchen Gadgets Club on Facebook and on Pinterest, TikTok. We're Kitchen Gadgets Club. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos like this one. And you can also find us at kitchengadgetsclub.com, where we have a membership that shares brand new kitchen gadget recipes every week. And we also have lots of great ideas, resources, tips and tricks. And we are an ovenless kitchen, so we teach you exclusively how to cook with kitchen gadgets. And a ciao for now.